What's up, everyone? This is Rex with Paternity University. I'm here with Rafael Fernandez. This is the Student Success Series where we talk about students who have taken the Paternity University course and have made significant progress in their. So Rafael is on again. This is his second time coming on. This is the second time, or the first time a student has come on a second time. And it's just some dope stuff, man. So Rafael, how you doing, bro?
Doing good today. Thanks for having me back. How you doing yourself?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, man, for sure. So a little bit about yourself for the folks who don't know who you are, because there's guaranteed some folks who don't know who you are. Tell us about yourself and Certainty DNA.
My name is Rafael Fernandez. The owner, co-owner, co-founder of Certainty DNA, along with my partner Pedro Magalis. We founded it back in February, end of February. We started selling early March, and since then we've done over 35 tests, and we're on pace to hit 50. We're aiming for about 70 by the end of the year, hopefully.
Hey, that's what's up, man. I'm glad that you keep counting of your tests as well, man, because that's a goal that a lot of us should have is like, how many tests do you want to do a year? So 35, man, that's pretty good for your first year in business. You haven't even been in business for 1 year. What do you attribute to your success in getting that amount of tests? What has worked for you?
Good customer service at the end of the day is what been working for us. We've been following up. We've been trying to make sure our clients are as happy as they can be. And even if there's anything that makes them unhappy in the process, that we take care of them, then we try to address it and make sure that we can at least make it better. At least, I don't know. We've seen that these big companies that they really don't really care about the clients. The customer service isn't there. So that's why I think this type of niche is really good for us.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So what aspect is that customer service? Like you said, caring for your customers, but what else makes up that customer service for you? Is it answering your phone in the first, second ring? Is it returning
Yeah,
calls fast? Like
yeah.
what?
So answering the phone. Sorry, answering the phone is a big part. Sorry, I cut you off. But answering the phone is a big part because even a lot of these companies you call them, they won't even answer you. Like it's crazy. In my city right now, we're number 2 for paternity testing on Google rankings, and sometimes the first one won't even answer. So it's more just getting in front of the customers and making sure you're there when they need you at that time.
Yeah, for sure. Dope, man. Dope. What is your pricing? A lot of students sometimes they struggle sometimes or really heavily consider how they should price their test. What is your pricing structure?
So right now, we do informational tests for $1,400. We offer payment plans for informational prenatal paternity tests. Um, we do right now we do a $500 deposit, and then we do the rest of the payments either weekly or biweekly, whichever one works best for the clients. That's why I think we also do a little bit better than our competitors, because I think we're the only one in Boston right now doing payment plans. Um, and then for legal paternity tests, we do $1,600, and then we don't offer payment plans for those as of now. And even though I don't know, like we had a price increase lately, and even with that, I've still kept the same pricing just because I've been able to cut back on our advertising spend just because of how good our organic growth has been lately.
That's good. That's dope, man. That's dope. Would you say that that organic growth is attributed also to your reviews that you've gotten? Because I think you got 18 reviews, I think.
Yeah, we're at 18 reviews right now.
18 reviews. Do you think that helps, kind of push you to the top of Google?
Definitely. Yeah, because at least in my area, there's only so of the 3 companies, number 1 it's an Arc Point lab, which is one of our partners as well, and they get a bunch of reviews for like COVID tests and whatnot. So they're gonna be like up there no matter what. So and we're right behind them. We're like second place basically. So I
That's
think
dope.
that really what helps us stand out is just the reviews.
That's dope. How many calls on average are you getting a day?
Um, it fluctuates. So it really does fluctuate. I've been noticing that towards the beginning of the month, we will get about 2 to 3 calls a day on average. Um, Sometimes even 4. I'd say the first 2 to 3 weeks, and then it slows down a little bit towards the second, like the end of like the last week or the second to last week starts to slow down, and we'll get about 1 call a day. Sometimes we won't even get calls.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. For people out there that are either thinking about getting a already in the course and kind of like in the process of setting up, like it's gonna be weeks, it's gonna be days and weeks where you don't get any calls. It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
It fluctuates. It literally is like a wave. Some days, for me, some days I'll get 20 calls, and then some days I'll get 3, and then some days I get 2, and then it'll just. And then some
Yeah,
days
some
I'll get
days are
1.
crazy.
Yeah,
Some
it's
days are
crazy.
crazy for no reason. Some days you'll literally get 15 back-to-back calls, and it's all different people. And it's like, what the hell happened today? Like, what's in the air? Like,
It just happens, and you just have to be prepared. So is it you answering all your calls, or do you have a virtual assistant to answer your calls?
so it's me and my partner as of now answering all the calls. We plan on going for a virtual assistant soon. We've been able to handle all the inflow calls right now, so it hasn't been a problem. So we're pretty flexible with our schedules. We have good like kind of matching schedules. But when we do, so we're looking to increase our ad spend by like 3 times next month. So we're starting to think about it now because we might be getting steamrolled if that's the case, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart, man. That's definitely smart. Are you focusing mostly on the prenatals? Because when I asked you about your prices, you gave the prices for the prenatals. Is that what your focus is mostly
Yeah.
on? Okay.
Yeah. So for us, the moneymakers prenatals, we make the most profit, and it's less in-house work as of now.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to, when we do advertise, we've been advertising mainly towards prenatals. But the paternity tests, I mean, the legals and the informationals, they're also really good money too. It's just
Mm-hmm.
I like dealing with prenatals more.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's a little bit more of a process, like following with customers and talking to them, a little bit more lengthy. The profits, it just ends up being a little bit more better.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's dope. So you're doing with both RavGen and DDC for your prenatals, correct? Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also we started trying to cut costs too. We're like we were talking about before, we got new lab partnerships finally coming in. We got UFC, and I reached out to a new one called Alliance. I don't know if I've spoke to you about that one.
I've heard about Alliance. I don't know if they do a partnership program, but I've heard about it before.
Yeah, so I reached out, and then I'm gonna see what's up with them. See if I can get anything going with them.
Yeah, for sure. The labs don't have like distributorship programs. Like I've asked a couple of them, they're like no. And then I talked to one of them, one of the sales reps, is one in like Houston, and I was like, hey, I do X. Like y'all don't do prenatals, right? So I do mostly. That's 80% of my revenue, right? It's prenatals,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, they were like, we don't do those. I said, okay, cool, that's fine. Well, I do X amount of the regular mouth swab, legal, non-legals a month. And they were just like, well, we can't help you because you're not doing enough. And I'm like, okay, fine. Like, all
Be
right.
helping y'all make money, but
I was trying, you know what I'm saying? I was trying
it's
to
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
because I got a whole group of people, you know what I'm saying? But they were like, no, you're not doing enough. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll keep it with the 3 that fair enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all, cool.
Yeah, similar thing happened to me when I was looking for another gender, for a gender reveal one. I forgot the name of it, but when I reached out, they're like, "Oh, your collector nearby already uses them, so we can't distribute to you." It's like, okay, completely just blocked me off. Like, all right,
It's like, all right, cool, man. It's whatever.
that's what it is.
Your goal for next year? What's your revenue goal? Your test amount goal for next year? What do you want to do?
You said test amount goal? Sorry, I cut out.
Yeah,
I
how many
think I
tests
cut
do you
out a
want
little
to
bit.
do?
We haven't set a project goal for next year, but I think it's possible that we do at least 200 tests next year, around 250 is reaching. But that's granted that we do start expanding the way we would like, and then possibly have another location in another state. So,
There you go.
one step at a time, month by month.
Month by month. That's what month by month, quarter by quarter.
Yes, sir. Every single day.
Is I mean, yes, I want to do 200 next year. I'm at, I think 89 this year or something like that. Nice. For me. So if I can do 89, I can do 100. In my first year,
definitely.
Yeah, I think my first year was like 40 people or something like that total. So I mean, you can essentially almost double it every single year until you get to kind of a plateau point. You're good to go.
Have
Smart stuff.
you,
Yeah.
sorry, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Have you started like advertising in other states by like locations?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. How many locations are you at?
4.
Four? Nice.
Yeah, so I got Maryland, North Carolina, and then 2 in Texas. My main one in Texas, El Paso, and the other one in Dallas. So I'm advertising in three of those cities right now. I'm gonna probably advertise in North Carolina as well. So every state and every city has a different demographic and how they respond to different prices and different things.
Hmm.
Like it just depends. So whenever you expand, whatever city you choose, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how they respond to certain stuff sometimes, or the test that they want. You'll notice that certain cities maybe may want more grandparentage or deceased test or avuncular test rather than like standard
Interesting.
paternity. Yeah, it's as you expand, you'll see. You're like, oh, this is different. This is a little bit different, or you have to answer the phone a little bit differently, and just your wording's a little slightly differently because it's
Yeah, I
just
can imagine. Cause yeah, well, at least from here, people are really upfront when they talk. They're really like, there's no holding back when they speak, at least. So
yeah. Like, hey, dude, I need a paternity test. Can you do it in the
like right
car? You know?
I've heard so many oh man, the stories I can tell, like how many couples I hear cuss each other out. And I'm like,
Oh wow. Tell you know
it's
what?
been
Tell
getting
you know,
crazy. It's been getting
obviously being
crazy.
confidential. Tell us if you can remember the wildest story that you can remember.
Uh it
Obviously
was
around.
actually it was actually about like 2 weeks ago, I think 2 weeks ago or maybe three. I had a collection and oh, I actually put it in the chat too. When the I did a collection for a couple. I went out to them actually to the house. I did it outside of the house. Um, and when I got the results and I sent it to the alleged father and I sent it to the mother as well, like the mother of the child,
Mhm.
he flipped out on me. He's like, "Why are you sending results to this?" He just cussing me out, cussing her out, and I
Oh
was
my
like, "Sir,
gosh.
it was just like there's nothing I could do. It's just like court standards. It's a legal test. Whoever's like legally involved in the test gets results. It's just the way it is." And he just after that sent that message and never heard from him again. It was just like it was such a wild interaction. He was just cutting me out with the phone. Was so angry, sending me a bunch of texts. Damn, I was trying to
Is
do my
I
job.
mean, like you said, yes. If her name is on that legal paperwork and his name is too, then y'all are both entitled to those results. You know what I'm
Yeah, for
saying?
sure.
So I get it. I get it. I have it reversed sometimes. I have it to where sometimes the mom will contact me and be like, I don't want him to know the results. You know what I mean? Like, don't send them to them. And I'm like, I can't, like, his name is on the paperwork.
Can't
I'm
just
going to send it
not.
to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's
Yeah,
an informational, though, one, that's up to her discretion. I'll send it to her, and that's up to her discretion. So if it's informational, I don't have to, right?
yeah.
And so I'll send the results to her, and then he'll call back like a week later and be like, hey, I took a paternity test. I never got the results because she never shared it with him. You know what I'm saying? I'll have that every once in a while. You know what I mean?
And
But
then
most
even
of the
then
time,
it's like you don't even know what to do at that point. Like
yeah,
it's
it's
always
like,
such
all
a
right.
weird situation.
Yeah, it's a weird, yeah, it's a weird situation, man. Um, have you done any weekend tests? Like, have you gotten a call on a weekend or a Friday night or something like that, and you answered, you made the sale, you took the test on the weekend? Like, have you had something like that yet?
Yeah, yeah. I've done a couple of those. I can't remember exactly how many, but actually a good portion of our tests have been on the weekend. Well, the ones that we go out and we do them.
Yeah.
We get a lot of Saturday morning tests. Sometimes Sundays even. We get requests for Sundays, but I'm like, chill out. Like it's Sunday.
You got to
Like,
pay me more if you want a Sunday test.
yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah.
I drove an hour to I believe 2 weeks ago for a test. They paid a really nice. They were willing to pay whatever for me to drive out there. So I was
Oh
like,
wow.
slapped a $250 fee on there. Just to call it a day.
Okay. Shoot, that's not
You know,
bad.
do what you got to do to increase
Yeah.
revenue.
Hey, get it. So, you know, I know how you do it, but let's explain to the folks, watching and listening. Um, how do you do your tests when you are not physically able to do them? How do you outsource that?
Yeah. So the way we outsource tests, paternity tests, either prenatal or regular buccal swab tests, is just whenever we get the call for the client, we can confirm an appointment. We have collection partners that are able to do the testing for us. So we send them out to get their blood drawn or their cheek swab for the buccal swab for the saliva sample. We send them out. We just coordinate the appointment between the collectors and the clients, and then we send them out, send the samples out to the labs, and there we go. The results come back in a couple of business days.
And you never see those clients, right?
Never see them.
Never see them.
Just talk to them. Tell them when the samples are arriving to the lab. Keep them updated every once in a while. Let them know what's going on, and then send them results when it's ready.
Yeah. What do you think about that business? How does that make you feel that you're kind of just quarterbacking? Like you're kind of just coordinating, just quarterbacking. How does that make you feel when somebody pays you, you know what I'm saying, ahead of time and you just like, all right, you're going to go here and they're happy? How does that make you feel?
Honestly, I feel pretty fine because I know at least with my collection office, they have a lot going on with them as well. And they don't only do paternity testing. They do a lot of other things. They're a whole medical lab. They do the COVID testing. I can't name everything to do, but it's an assortment of things. So us being specialized specifically in these paternity cases, I think it's better and it helps versus these bigger companies that are just here for actually, we're here to make money too, but we're more specialized. You know, we're smaller companies, so it helps the client in the end because I don't think they get the same customer service or even like any of the attention that we can give the clients. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Looking back, man, I mean, you first, how did you come across Paternity University? And then what made you want to dive into this industry?
Twitter. I think it was Twitter. I just seen a retweet on Twitter. Was able to connect with you through it. And then it came from there. It was I thought it was a really good niche idea. I've never heard of it. And again, there was only 2 or 3 companies in my area that offering paternity testing. So it seemed like one of the right ideas to do.
That's what's up, man. And looking back, I mean, going through the course, like, did the course kind of tell you everything you needed to know? And then you kind of went off and maybe innovated on your own a little bit? Like, how was
so yeah,
course?
the course is definitely the blueprint. So it gives you everything you need to know in terms of getting started, what connections you need, what's nice to have and what legal paperwork you need to get done, and the little loopholes and little business loopholes you can use to get started and not be too expensive starting out as well. But everything else kind of, you have to play with it and figure it out yourself, kind of like getting in front of customers and advertising. It's just different in every city. So, like you say before, we give you the blueprint, but you have to also put in your work yourself and figure everything out.
That's good. I'm happy to see that you're at 35 tests for the year and you want to do 200 next year. I mean, that's dope because I mean, it's just amazing to see just with DNA testing what you can create for your business itself. And then later on, if you want to add something else, if you want to add drug testing, fingerprinting, whatever else, you know what I'm saying, you can do that if you choose, or you can continue to specialize and be known as the paternity testing provider in the Northeast or in your area. Like, you are that person, you are that company.
We got to get Maury revamped or something. Sorry, you cut off.
You said what'd you say again? Repeat that.
We got to get Maury revived or something. We got to get that going.
yeah, man, for sure. Or paternity court, she stopped paternity court. The Judge Lauren
did.
She stopped it a while ago, but yeah, man, we can get that revived or something revived because you get these calls. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
It's a lot more people than you think. It's crazy. It's a lot of people. It's way more than you think.
Going through these situations, man. That's lovely, man. And I will say this. I'm looking forward to seeing your progress.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
And seeing what you do over the next year, man. Like, I want to check back in a year from now or whatever, another episode, and say, where are you at now? Bro, I'm at 280 paternity tests for the year. Oh my gosh. You made it $500,000. Like, that's crazy. Because it can be done. It's possible. It's definitely possible. It's not impossible for sure. What parting words, man? What advice do you have for the folks listening who's kind of on the fence about getting into this industry?
Just go for it. I think the hardest thing is get started. So with anything, honestly. So if you feel like you wanted to do something, like if you feel like this is something you wanted to do or the slightest interest, just go for it and start. I mean, the worst thing that could happen is it can go wrong, and then that's it. and then
Yeah.
and then that's it. It's over, and you start something else.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
just go for it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Rafael, man, I appreciate it, man. Like I said,
No,
short
thank you.
conversation. I didn't want to make it too long, but just that check-in, man, is good to see the progress, and I'm looking forward to what you do in the near future, brother. Seriously.
As always, bro. Thank you for having me. Appreciate everything always, and thanks for putting us onto this game, always.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's my honor, and yeah, hey y'all. Do you want the people to follow you on Twitter, man? I don't know where you all at. Where can people find you? They want to ask you questions and stuff.
You can follow me on Instagram. My Twitter, my Twitter right now, not my Twitter.
You like, no, I'm good.
That's my low key. My
Sure.
Instagram is Raff on Instagram. You can follow us on Instagram too at CertainyDNA. Check us out, CertainyDNA.com. It's our website. We have a Twitter too. We don't post anything on Twitter, but we'll get posting soon. It's all coming together.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Oh,
For sure, man.
yes. All right. Sure. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you, Ralph, man. I appreciate it. Seriously.
I appreciate it, Roy, again.
All right. Good day.
You too, man.